Hey everyone, this is Jerry with another Express solution. Today we have Nathan Grube with BinMaster. Hey Nathan, how you doing?
Good. How you doing, Jerry?
Doing well. Appreciate you being here.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Hey, tell us a little bit about BinMaster and your role with the company.
Yeah, BinMaster has been around for about 70 years. We primarily focus on level indicators, inventory measurement systems for any type of storage vessel, whether it would be bulk solids, grain and feed, to liquid tanks like in ag chemicals, molasses, fats, and a feed mill, things like that. I've been with the company for almost 25 years. And I'm an RSM for the Midwest region, basically North Dakota through Texas. The ag industry is kind of my bread and butter. It should be with that region.
Oh, fantastic. We're glad to have you. So today we're going to focus on rotary bin switches. Nathan, can you explain more to us about them and how they work?
Absolutely. A rotary level indicator is very simple electromechanical device. Been in the industry for years. There's a lot of different references, paddle wheel, the Bindicator, things like that. Very simple, easy to use device. We have a few different models. Basically, it's just an electromechanical device. I actually have a device here. Mounts on the side of a bin wall. We'll say if we're using it in a grain bin, it can be horizontally mounted or vertically mounted. This paddle would turn at 1 RPM until the material gets around that paddle and stops it from rotating. As soon as that happens, we actually move an actuator over against a limit switch that would be wired up to a light or a horn to indicate a full or alarm condition. You could use it for low level as well, just kind of the opposite if it goes uncovered. Again, you can wire that up to an alarm or light to indicate a low level condition.
Now, you've had a model change recently between an older style and now this style. What were the main differences now that you've incorporated?
You bet, absolutely. So our older units, kind of the history of our rotary level indicators, we started out with the old GR. Some of your customers, Jerry, will probably recognize the GR model. It was in an oval bolt top enclosure. And we made that from really the mid 70s up until right around 2008. And then we went to our BMRX series, and a lot of people will recognize that as well. They were in a white enclosure. And then just recently, we decided to have a little bit of a facelift. Being a good Nebraskan, we love red. So we decided to paint them red. And the models are a little different. Now we call it the BMRX 100, the BMRX 200, or the BMRX 300s. They function pretty much the same as the older ones. The housings are a little bit different. The electronics look a little bit different, but they still operate and do the same thing. Just real quick, you ask, well, what's the difference between a BMRX 100 and 200? Really, the BMRX 100 is a very simple device, no PC boards. It resembles the old GR internally from the days gone by. We had a lot of customers that said, hey, we don't want to have any PC boards, electrical boards inside the device. We just want a terminal strip and a very robust, rugged, old-fashioned design. So we aim to please our customer, and that's in the BMRX 100. The 200 has a few more features. As you can see, a PC board in there is fail-safe for a power failure. It's still very simple. Again, like any other rotary level indicator, no calibration, works in any dry materials, so on and so forth. The one I like to focus on, though, actually anymore these days, especially in the industries we work in, where there's high capacity conveying systems, and things can happen rapidly inside of a grain facility or feed mill. And if something would happen to go wrong with the BMRX 100 or 200, you actually won't know that it's happened until your conveying equipment is plugged up or you're overfilling the bin. And unfortunately, that can happen. That's a little bit of the nature of the beast. But with our BMRX 300, it's obvious for one, it has a status light on it. But for two, this is a completely fail-safe device, meaning if something mechanically or electrically would fail in this sensor, it will go into an alarm state. So if you're not filling in that vessel and all of a sudden your high level alarm would sound off, the operator says, well, we're not filling in that bin. Why is my alarm going off? They can go up and reference the status light on the device, notice that it's blinking yellow for caution, where normally if we're blinking green, that would mean the paddle's turning and functioning correctly. And if the paddle were on solid red, that would mean it's just in a normal covered state. So they recognize that, hey, the light is blinking yellow. We have an issue with this unit. So if we go to fill in that and we haven't had a chance to replace that sensor or repair the sensor, they know they need to be cautious and just be aware of that. So really, it's a guarantee they're not going to overfill their bin because of a failed level control. So certainly a little bit more money for one of those, but it's definitely an insurance policy, and it saves time and money on the back end of not repairing conveying equipment or costly cleanups.
Oh, fantastic. Well, what kind of applications would these work best with?
Well, rotary level indicators are used just in dry bulk solids. So if we're talking in the agricultural industry, that would mean whole grains, feedstuffs like wheat midds or DDGs or meals, materials like that. But certainly they can be used in all industries: cement and flour and pet foods and sawdust and aggregates, things like that.
Well, Nathan, thank you for your time today.
Absolutely. It's been my pleasure. Thank you so much, Jerry, and we appreciate your partnership.
For this and other solutions, contact Express Feed and Grain Parts today.